Hello, chismosas y chismosos, and welcome back to Bay Area Housewife of True Crime, where I like to tell the stories of the real cucuys and lloronas of the world. We are at part 2 of the Kevin Collins case. As a reminder, topics may be triggering. Viewer and listener discretion is strongly advised. The people mentioned are innocent until proven guilty in court. Sacramento Police Lieutenant Al Nahera said, and I quote, "By the time police get to the reported sightings, the suspects are gone. We've continued talking to witnesses, but we haven't developed anything beyond the fact that there were 2 men with a boy," unquote. On March 2nd of 1984, a day after the possible sighting in Sacramento, the same police lieutenant confirmed that they did locate the vehicle, the occupants in question after they received the tip about a boy that looked like Kevin being spotted at the liquor mart on Freeport Boulevard. After questioning the men and the child, they determined that the boy was not Kevin. In fact, one of the men was the child's father. When asked if Kevin would run away from home, his mom said, and I quote, "There's no way. It's completely out of character. He'd never been away from home at night except to an aunt's house twice. No way, not Kevin," unquote. An October 9th, 1984 article by the Sacramento Bee mentioned that at the time Ann Collins told them there were no statistics to indicate exactly how many children are abducted by strangers each year, but that media reports estimated between 6 and 50,000, and only 3% of the children are abducted by a stranger are ever returned. Those were the statistics back then. She goes on to say that most are sexually abused or used for child pee. By this time, also, the Kevin Collins Foundation was being guided by a board of directors of 13 members with a mailing list of 3,500 people. In February of 1985, 1 year after the disappearance, Ann told the Petaluma Argus-Courier, and I quote, "It's the look in his eyes that's the hardest for me to take. I still wake up and see those eyes," unquote. A special ceremony was held at the St. Agnes Church. Laura Collins, Kevin's big sister, said the following to the congregation, and I quote, "We love you, Kevin, wherever you are." A February 11th, 1994 Press Democrat article reported Ann Collins say, and I quote, "I think we have all accepted that Kevin is dead," unquote. This article also said that she seemed, quote, "too tiny to have borne 7 children," unquote. When I read this, I assumed it was written by a man, and I was sadly mistaken as I went to see it was, in fact, a woman who had the audacity to write this, an Elizabeth Weiss. Life after losing Kevin has been hard for the Collins family, as we can only imagine. 5 years after the disappearance, David and Ann got divorced. The kids were afraid to leave the house. They began to stay home more. They never walked the streets alone again. Their grades slipped, and 3 of the eldest dropped out of school. Ann Collins decided to devote her free time to the 7 surviving children she had and 1 foster kid who calls her mom. She also goes on to say, "I can't imagine what it would have been like if he'd been an only child. I wouldn't still be here. I couldn't have taken it," unquote. In November of 2005, a man named Behzad Mofrad tried to steal Kevin's name to obtain a passport. Thankfully, the State Department employee was a crime junkie and remembered the case and alerted authorities. Police reports said that this person, some reports say that this person had no idea who Kevin was, and some say that they believed the case was stale enough for him to get away with it. Bezad Mofrad was a 40-year-old man with addresses in Pinole and San Ramon, California. In February of 2006, he was sentenced to 33 months in federal prison after pleading guilty for passport fraud. Ann Collins says the following: I think to reporters when this man tried to steal her son's identity. I think it's despicable that this guy saw my son's name on a website and figured that was 22 years ago and nobody cares anymore. I guess he didn't realize my son was on the cover of Newsweek in 1984 and thankfully some people remembered him, unquote. She also goes on to say, I'm glad he said he's sorry, but he's just sorry he got caught. It's despicable that he stole the only thing Kevin had left, his name. Kevin never got to work. Kevin never got to drive a car, but this thief comes along and wants to steal his name so he can escape the law, unquote.